Aida for taking my daughter away and telling my ex I expect him to support me financially while I look after her because his partner wouldn't make her tea. I, 35F, have a daughter, Kelly, 16F, with my ex-husband, Josh, 37M. We separated when Kelly was 10. Since then, Josh got married again to Lily, 30F. Kelly mostly stays with me but also have her own room at Josh's house, which is significantly bigger than mine. It is important to note Kelly is not really a picky eater, and usually cooks for herself as she enjoys cooking and trying new things. However, she is very particular about how she wants her hot drinks done, like hot chocolate with milk only and no water or tea without any milk or sugar, as she collects different types and feels adding milk or sugar ruins it. Now, unfortunately, Kelly had to go through an operation and currently can't move by herself and needs help. Josh suggested to have her stay at his house as he has more room, and Lily can look after Kelly while he is at work since she is a housewife. They don't have any children together. Lily also agreed it will be for the best. Both me and Kelly went with the plan, as I won't be able to be with her 24/7 due to my work and lack of cover, and I won't be able to afford being off work for long as I have to pay for her operation alongside with other medical bills. It was a week on Friday since Kelly was staying with Josh and Lily, and I would spend time with her in the evenings, when Kelly called me and asked me to take her home. I have asked what is wrong, and she told me Lily kept messing with her drinks or serving her drinks she can't have, like coffee due to her meds. And when my daughter tried to raise it with her, Lily said if Kelly doesn't like it, she can make her own, knowing perfectly well my daughter is currently bedbound. I took her home and have told my ex I am expecting him to cover the medical bills and some of my expenses since Lily failed to do her job and her treatment of Kelly. I have refused to give her a second chance despite Josh asking me to, and was called an asshole by him and my in-laws. NTA, Lily kept messing with her drinks or serving her drinks she can't have, like coffee due to her meds. That's creepy. Try and find out more about this, like what she means by messing with them. She would constantly add sugar and milk to her tea. Kelly really doesn't like sweet tea. And from what she told me, she asked for a hot chocolate once or twice and got it made with water only. There were other concerns too, like Kelly waiting for way too long for Lily to come and help her to the bathroom, since she can't walk there herself or get out of bed herself. The bathroom thing is a huge concern. Well, it clearly wasn't a huge concern since OP didn't bother mentioning it in the OP. The entire topic is about the drinks. I said this elsewhere, but I can see the drinks being as more of a concern because the bathroom wait could have plausible deniability. For example, in the bathroom herself, cooking, ran outside to get the mail, etc. But there's no universe in which she isn't messing with Kelly's drinks out of spite. I would need a timeline of events regarding the drinks to know for certain if it was malicious or not. Did this all happen in one day? Or did she repeatedly mess up the same drinks every day? If this all happened in one day, then it could be explained away as confusion. For example, let's say she made the tea first with the milk and sugar. Daughter says she doesn't like milk and sugar, so when stepmom makes the hot chocolate, she doesn't use milk and sugar because of what happened with the tea. If the events happened like that, then it might not be malicious. If she made the same errors on multiple days, then it would definitely be malicious. The coffee could be a mistake too, because it's possible she wasn't aware it would interfere with the medication. I asked OP if she knew it would interfere, and it wasn't answered. Like I said, I need more information to determine if these are indeed malicious actions or not. Telling the bedbound child that if she didn't like it, she could go make her own is heavily indicative of malice. What we do know is the stepmom became angry when the daughter asked to have her tea her way. Regardless of timing, that's an asshole move. Especially when tea her way is literally just black tea. Tea isn't hard to make, period, but black is literally the minimum effort. Yeah, comma. She literally added 2 whole steps just to ruin the tea. This is definitely on purpose. It takes me exactly 1 time making a cuppa to learn how someone likes it, and if I can't remember, I ask. In the post it says kiddo has already been there a week since Friday, so it's been a while and not 1 day. I would need a timeline of events regarding the drinks to know for certain if it was malicious or not. Yeah. No. The only way you could possibly know for certain is if you were there. But this is Reddit, And y'all love to think y'all know every situation that you were not involved in. What about the part where stepmom said if she didn't like the drinks she makes, then daughter needs to make it herself, knowing the daughter can't physically move around on her own? If not active maliciousness, it is a malicious neglect. When you take care of someone, you read the paperwork or ask what they can have and what they want. Setting expectations is fine. Choose from these tea bags and I only have instant are reasonable qualifiers. And with a kid-teen, you should expect to have to check on what she's allowed to have. Also, you made me imagine hot cocoa made with plain baking cocoa powder and hot water, and I really hate you for that image. Sometimes irrelevant small things create a larger impact than the significant issues. AITA stories are the prime example. People with wildly abusive partners will be here asking about insignificant things while casually throwing in major abuse. You are reading it as a story. That child is living it. She collects tea, so she must have a routine with them, being independent and all. She never had a problem. Now she is bedbound, and every time she asks for a drink, it's wrong. Obviously, she is focused on that. When I had my foot in a cast, I was not focused on pain, rather that I couldn't go out of my house, which I don't do a lot anyway, but my mind convinced me that was my biggest problem, so I cribbed about only that. Go figure. This child is not being mean or Starbucks orderer extraordinaire. She is just expecting love and care over bare minimum when she is in a vulnerable spot. How she expresses it to her mother is her own choice. Plus, OP is not demonizing the stepmom. She is asking if she is an asshole for putting her ex in a tough spot. And her drinks is literally 2 steps. Cocoa and milk, tea and water, no coffee due to medication. Stepmom ruins the drinks by adding more stuff than necessary. Then got angry and told her to make it herself, knowing she's not able to move on her own. Right? I totally missed that. SP just has to add hot water to the tea and boom, everyone's happy. Yet she is adding extra steps because either she doesn't give a fuck or is being petty. That husband is making her take care of his child. Now, even if OP is not demonizing her, I am ready to do that. Because the bathroom problem is something that you can explain away with Lily being tired or having things to do before she can help her. You can't know if it's intentional. With the drinks, you know it's intentional. She can just not add sugar and milk, etc. That's where you know Lily is just being mean. To me, this is a far bigger concern than the drinks. I am more concerned with the fact that this woman is making your daughter wait to use the bathroom. That is cruel and intentional. The drinks show that she is petty, and obviously she's not happy about having to care for your daughter. Otherwise, she wouldn't be behaving this way. Sounds like she's abusing a minor to me. OP is NTA, but her ex and her ex's partner certainly are. The ex-husband is negligent, and his new wife is absolutely abusive. Especially concerning when you take into consideration how damaging holding your pee can be. Since she just had surgery, she extra vulnerable, and the last thing she needs is a UTI. Yeah, that's all passive-aggressive nonsense. I'm thinking it was Josh's idea that Lily take care of Kelly to prove to OP how great his new stay-at-home wife is. And new SAW isn't so happy being used thus. And poor Kelly is getting the brunt of it. Nothing that will really hurt it but petty crap. OP should definitely get her daughter out of there. This is it, X insisted. She didn't want to do it, and is being passive-aggressive because she doesn't actually want to say no to him. NTA and buckle in. She's going to want him to dump your daughter to start fresh if they have their own kids. What kind of monster drinks hot chocolate made with water? Some people are lactose intolerant. Almond, rice, oat, soy, hazelnut, lactose-free cow milk. So many options other water. Just because you are lactose intolerant doesn't mean you have to torture yourself. As for OP, NTA, your daughter is sick and deserves to feel cared for to help her in her recovery. Not preparing a tea according to her preferences can happen once or twice, and it doesn't necessarily physically harm her, but it is sending the signal that your daughter's general well-being is not a priority, and that's not a message a child should receive ever, but particularly post-surgery. I was taught as a kid to make hot cocoa with water. When I learned how normal, sane people make it, I felt cheated. I hate the taste and texture of milk, so I use soy or almond milk, and it's like heaven in a cup. Lactose intolerance is not an excuse for blasphemous behaviors. I'm lactose intolerant, but also lived in a homeless shelter in 3rd grade with my mom. Sometimes milk wasn't an item we had. but people do donate hot cocoa packs, and sometimes that's a nice treat for such a shitty situation. It seems blasphemous to just add water, but I appreciate more than ever that it could be made with just water. Even though I add milk to mine, thank you Fairview lactose-free, P.S. powdered milk is mixed with water and would be a great thing folks can donate to food banks/shelters. Some brands of hot cocoa also have powdered milk in them, which is why you can just add water. Edit for spelling, and to point out the brand is Fairlife, it has a cow on the bottle, is all I ever recognize. I'll leave the mistype, cause some folks might get a chuckle out of my mistake. I do quite often. Personally, I don't really like milk or any of the milk alternatives as the main component in a drink. I have a hot chocolate with some milk powder in it, that I make with mostly hot water and a small splash of milk, like you would make an instant coffee. The directions say to make it with all milk, or 50/50ths hot water and milk, but I personally prefer it my way. Now that has absolutely nothing to do with Kelly and the awful way her stepmother is treating her. Kelly's drinks should be made for her exactly as she likes them while she is recovering. There is no reason for Lily not to make the drinks as requested, but hot chocolate made with 95% water isn't torture to everyone, the cheap kind. The tea is a much more deliberate sabotage. The way Kelly likes hers is super easy. Lily had to add ingredients to mess that up. No way that can be an oops claim. Hot chocolate mix can be made with water. It usually has powdered milk mixed in Aztecs, except they added some chili to it too. Lazy people who like strong, chemically instant hot chocolate. Far easier to boil an electric kettle and mix water with powder than heat milk and mix properly. Lazy person described above. What is too long of a wait to go to the bathroom? Is it 5 minutes? Is it an hour? Was Lily in a different part of the house doing other household things like laundry? I get what you're asking, and that's totally reasonable. But reading between the lines, I don't think anything Lily is doing is accidental. Or mom is nitpicking the stepmom. I wonder what stepmom's view is of the situation. The bigger room detail and Lily being a say-W while mom is wanting dad to pay more for mom to care for the daughter as she recovers. There just seems to be a lot more going on that is being intentionally left out to make the argument by mom look better. Plus, we know nothing about Lily beyond her being 30. There could be a ton of reasons that aren't nefarious that Lily isn't doing all the little things that mom can do. I say this as a stepmom married to the mom. My wife cannot do all the little things our son wants the exact way he wants them. Her ADHD gets in the way. I am over the top when it comes to doing things perfectly. Our son, if sick, I just do it all for him, BC. I will do it the way he wants. She will do all the emotional things the way he wants. We don't know if Lily was trying, wasn't trying, or was on autopilot just making stuff like she always does. Making stuff like routine is what my wife will do even if you tell her right before she goes into the kitchen to make it. Her brain just can't. I'm sorry, but repeatedly making drinks wrong, when she clearly knows the way the daughter likes her drinks, and then saying, well, make your own, when the child is bedbound is asshole behavior. That and giving coffee as a drink when it reacts poorly with the medications. This woman is either too incompetent to properly care for someone with high needs, or is a real-life evil stepmother. And even without that, the daughter asked to leave, when, from what we know, she doesn't seem to actually have an issue with her dad's house. I think it's fair to assume she was being mistreated in ways that don't include hot drinks or improper care. There seems to be some unreliable narration here. People are using it to justify the abuse theories, but some of the stuff thrown in here could also be that the kid is a bit spoiled. I mean, people are going ape about this chick making instant cocoa with water like that isn't right there on the instructions. This is coming from someone who I suspect doesn't like Lily. And she's getting it from a 16-year-old who's been bedridden after surgery. The kinds of medications they had me on when I was in that position would not have made me a very reliable source for basically anything that was going on around me. But the most telling is the insane expense demands. Even if we assume the bathroom thing is true and not exaggerated, how does that get OP out of paying any of her own daughter's medical bills? She's making demands that could be challenged in court. And she's doing so at a time when it really won't be good for her daughter for any of her potential caretakers to enter into that sort of battle. I also prefer hot chocolate, made only with milk, and I've had it served with water a few times. since a lot of people just automatically make it that way, and I would feel rude correcting them. That by itself could have been a mistake. But the tea and coffee thing makes it pretty clear that she's doing this on purpose. I can't imagine making tea for someone without asking their milk-sugar preferences. Tea with milk and sugar is completely different from plain black tea, and that's before you even get into green or herbal teas. And making her coffee when she can't even drink it and wouldn't have requested it is just bizarre. You were right to take your daughter home. Don't know if you'll get any money out of your husband, but absolutely you were right. I quote, "I'm curious about the procedure she had done. I worked in the PT department of a hospital. We didn't discharge anyone to their home unless they demonstrated the ability to do things like this independently. Patients who were not able to were discharged to a rehab. I can't decide in what way it's more creepy, but the main thing is that it seems Lily doesn't want to be taking care of OP's daughter and is doing the worst job of it, hoping either OP's ex steps up or OP takes over. Weaponized incompetence to get out of loading a dishwasher is one thing. Weaponized incompetence in caring for a bedbound child, recovering from major surgery, is beyond obscene. I'd call it psychotic or sociopathic for emphasis if I wasn't concerned with how those are misused. What quote bothering me is that I don't understand why they haven't arranged for there to be a pitcher of water and an electric kettle in Kelly's room next to her bed. She can pour herself some water and make her tea the way she prefers it. No need to make Kelly more dependent on others than need be. If she isn't able to move easily, think abdominal or back surgery, handling a tea kettle in bed is a huge safety risk.